What's up, movie lovers? It's your girl Rossie, and I'm back with another show. Tonight, guys, we're going to discuss The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I know this game's been out for some time now, about 5 years, 4 years now, 2020. Anyways, but I just recently finished The Last of Us Part 2, and wow, what an amazing game. So, I wanted to spotlight this game. Naughty Dog, another winner for them. I really enjoyed part two, really good. So we're definitely going to discuss this, guys. So let's get into it. What's up, guys? How are you guys doing? I hope you all had a wonderful, beautiful, lovely Valentine's Day. I did. I had a great Valentine's Day. Anyways, so tonight I wanted to discuss with you guys and talk about basically The Last of Us Part 2. I just recently finished the game, like I told you, and I'm stunned. I mean, I remember when the game came out back in 2020, and I didn't get this game for some time. I played the first game, absolutely loved it. The first game came out in 2013. So we get part two in 2020. I heard some mixed reviews about the game. Some people liked it. Just it wasn't their favorite. So I wasn't sure. So I didn't buy it for some time. And then after I watched this series, The Last of Us, on HBO, there were things in there that I noticed that other people we're talking about. And, I didn't know because I didn't play part two. So, that being said, finally got the game some time back and I've been playing it. I finished in about 35 hours. Wow, you guys, this game was awesome. I really enjoyed this game. Just a second. Uh, what's up, JoJo? How are you doing, girl? Um, so anyway, so I started this game some weeks back. Like I said, about 35 hours I finished this game, but what an amazing game. The game is from Naughty Dog. And, the Naughty Dog, I really appreciate. They're great storytellers. And in this game, you go through a range of emotions. So and there are certain things like I didn't know that would happen in this game. For instance, guys, well, first of all, let me tell you, this is going to be a spoiler review. Okay, so if you haven't played it, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get into certain aspects of the game that I liked, and we're just gonna talk about the game. Period. So, anyways, though, so if you remember what happened last time on The Last of Us when it ended, remember Ellie and Joel were headed to Seattle because remember Ellie is the cure for the outbreak that has happened, turning people into fungus people, basically. Okay, and so anyways, at the end of the first game. Um, they finally get Ellie to Seattle. They're getting her ready for surgery. And Joel decides that he can't do it because he finds out that in order for Ellie to save, the world, she would die. So that's the consequences of her, going through with the surgery, what would happen. And Joel finding that out, Ellie's his daughter basically is like his daughter. And so Joel is not having it. He doesn't feel right about it. So remember, Joel goes in to the hospital and he gets rid of everyone. I mean, he leaves a bloodbath. So he goes in, the doctor, the surgeon that's there getting ready to operate on Ellie. Ellie is at this time under, anesthesia. So she's out. And so Joel comes in there. There's a doctor there that is obviously getting ready to perform the surgery on Ellie's brain so that, we can save the world. Joel stops him. He has his scalpel out saying, basically telling just don't do this. She's the key. She's the cure. She's the cure. We have to do this. And so Joel, kills the doctor, gets Ellie up, brings Ellie out of the hospital. She's in the backseat of the car. Joel knows what he did is he knows it's horrible. He knows it's wrong, but he loves Ellie. That's his daughter. How can and remember, guys, in the first game, if you guys played it, remember how Joel lost his daughter in that first game. So it's kind of like he has a second chance at, having a daughter again. And the things that he and Ellie went through in the first game, I mean, she was 14, so this is his child and he can't go through with it. So, but Ellie doesn't know. She doesn't know that. He tells her some made up story like she wasn't the cure, it wasn't going to happen. There is no cure. Okay. So that's all Ellie knows. All right. So this game, we start this game out. By the way, you have Joel and Tommy together, and Joel finally confesses to Tommy as he's cleaning his guitar, telling Tommy what went down in Seattle, what happened, and what he did. And so, and Tommy, of course, being his brother, they're tight. Letting Joel know, don't worry about it. It won't change how I feel about you. I'll take this to the grave. I won't let anyone know. So no one knows that Ellie's the cure. Okay. So we open up with that. So Ellie now has to be in her 20s now. And there's a young lady that is going to be a big part of the game. Her name is Dina. And Dina was in a relationship with Jesse. Okay. And they're no longer together. But Ellie and Dina have this beautiful relationship, you guys. It's absolutely beautiful relationship. And when they head on their journey, they really dive into Ellie and Dina's relationship, which is absolutely beautiful how it starts. But they're girlfriends, they're together. And Dina is just really good person, absolutely adores Ellie, and there's that conflict because Jesse's still there, he's still around. And Ellie, although basically being in love with Dina, doesn't know how serious the situation is with, Dina and Jesse. Okay. So, she's not sure if, they still are attached or not, but Dina and Ellie obviously are into each other and absolutely are in love. And we know Ellie is in love with Dina. So we start the journey. Also, guys, another thing that surprised me about the game is when you start the game and you start the game up, you're playing the game, whatever, there's a certain point where you play another character. So Abby enters the picture, okay? And you play Abby for a little bit in the beginning, the very beginning of the game. She's in a snowstorm. She's trying to find her way back to the base, and it's like whiteout conditions. She can't see anything, but she's fighting her way through fungi people. Okay, she's fighting her way through them, the infected, and she makes it through. And so you switch back and forth, between playing Abby and playing Ellie. And Abby, let me tell you about Abby. Abby is absolutely brutal. Like I could not stand Abby at the beginning of this game. I absolutely hated her. Okay. And that's the great thing about Naughty Dog and their storytelling, because when you get to know Abby a little bit more, you end up understanding where she's coming from, and when you find out who she is. Okay. So anyways, Joel and Tommy are out, scavenging, and they end up running into Abby. There's a horde. And I'm just going to skip around, guys. There's a horde of infected, and Abby is about to be taken down by them. Joel and Tommy show up. They do not know Abby. They help her out, make sure she's okay, and the three of them fight their way through this horde of infected. And like I said, Joel, Tommy, they don't know Abby. Anyways, they get through this, guys. And this is a pivotal point of the game, really. They get through this with Abby, and the gameplay is great, by the way. I love the melee combat. I love the melee combat. I love the gunplay. It's so exciting, and it's exhilarating. Okay, so and I'm tense, dude. I'm tense. I'm like my controller. I'm holding it tight. The intense moments in the games it's really intense, and you really feel like you're there. Like you forget everything that's going on when you start this game and you get back into the game. Okay, just to let you know, it's great. All right, a great book, right? Anyway, so they, uh, Tommy and Joel help out Abby. They go back to this cabin, huge cabin, and Abby's people meet up with her, and Owen enters the picture, who you'll find out more about. I'll talk a little bit more about Owen in a little bit, but Owen enters the picture, and Joel notices that they're looking at him as if they know him, and he says that to Abby's people, like, why are you guys looking at me like that? It's like you know us. And the next scene, they have Joel and Tommy in this room tied up. And this scene, guys, is absolutely brutal. I cried during this scene. Um, and just to let you know, so Joel and Tommy are now have been taken hostage by Abby's people. Okay, and in the meantime, you have Ellie that's out looking for um, Joel and Tommy. Okay, she's out looking for Joel. Anyways, so we're in this room. You realize that Abby is not. She's a horrible person. Okay, these are not the good people. And Abby, you find out, have been looking for Joel for some time, because the surgeon in the room, I believe his name is Jerry. That's Abby's dad, who Joel killed. Sorry, the surgeon that was going to perform on Ellie. So she's out for revenge. You killed her father, and we get to know a little bit about Abby and her father's relationship. But anyways, right now, she's upset with Joel, and I'm telling you guys, she brutally beats the hell out of Joel. But before he dies, and he does die, um, and they beat the hell out of Tommy as well. Ellie is making her way and following, and ends up finding where they're held up at. And so she, sneaks her way inside, which is an event in itself. Okay. She gets inside, she opens up the door and goes in a room, and she sees Joel just in a really bad condition. And she witnesses, and they take Ellie, obviously, throw her to the ground. And Ellie is just horrified as she looks at Joel, and he's laying there, and Abby just beats his brains out. It is so brutal. And that scene, I mean, oh my gosh, guys, it was like watching a really good movie, and you didn't want this to happen. Like, you know, playing the first game and now playing this game, I never in 100 years thought that Joel would be killed. I thought that they would be on another, mission together, throughout the whole game. And so that didn't happen. And so when you witness this scene, I'm telling you guys, it's brutal. It hurt. I cried. I cried during that scene. And then you see Ellie, and you see how hurt she is. And she just watched her father get his brains beat in. And they beat her up a little bit. Abby has no chill. She does not care. I mean, and at that moment, you hate Abby at that moment. Absolutely hate her. So we get through this scene. The next scene, after Ellie witnesses Joel, die, they're back in Jackson, where, Ellie and Joel, them all live. And Tommy, is okay. He makes it back. He's okay. He was beaten, but he's okay. This is sometime afterwards. And, Ellie is upset because she's telling Tommy, are we going to go? We're going to go out and get them, right? And Tommy's like, I don't think that Maria, which is Tommy's wife, I don't think we have enough people, to go out and do that. And Ellie is she's pissed. She's furious because she's like, who's talking? Are you talking? Are you telling me what Marie's saying? Or is this you? Like, if it were Joel, well, if that were you, Joel would have went out after you. He wouldn't care what anyone says. And so he has conflict, because he doesn't want Abby, he doesn't want Ellie. I'm sorry, guys. He doesn't want Ellie to go out there. He wants her to wait. So he tells her, just let me talk to my wife, let me talk to Maria, and give me 24 hours. We'll sort this out. We'll figure it out. Ellie reluctantly is like, okay, fine. The next day, um, Ellie is at Joel's house. She's getting some of his things. She's getting ready to, leave to go find Abby. And, Dina's with her. Dina's downstairs. Let's, Ellie know, come downstairs. Maria's down there, and Maria's pissed because Tommy left. He left. And Ellie's so upset because they were supposed to do it together. He left. He left her there. And so she's pissed about that. And so she's like, I'm leaving. I'm going to go after Tommy and go basically and get revenge. She wants Abby bad. Marie's like, doesn't want her to go, and they were in Marie understands that they were going to sneak out, and Dina was going to leave with her. Anyways, once everything's said and done, she okays, Ellie and Dina to leave, gives them horses, and makes sure and tells Ellie, bring my idiot husband back, basically, and make sure he comes back in one piece, because she's worried about her husband now as well. So Dina and Dina and Ellie, I'm so sorry. You guys will understand why I keep calling her Abby, because we do play Abby. Anyways, Dina and Ellie, they set off on their journey. And through that journey, guys, you get to know a little bit more. You get to know a little more about Dina. Dina gets to know more about Ellie. And it's just a nice little trip, And their goal is to go to Seattle, because they do know that the group that that killed Joel and attacked Tommy, they're from Seattle, and their group is called, they're with the Washington Liberation Front. Okay, so that's Abby's group, and they know that because Tommy had mentioned that he saw the patch that Abby was wearing on her jacket. So that's how we know that they're from Seattle. They're in Washington. So Dina and Ellie are on a journey to head to Seattle because, she's going to kill Abby. She wants to kill Abby because of what happened to Joel, and that must happen, right? So throughout this journey, guys, we run into other factions. You have your wolf faction. You have, let me read. You have your Rattlers, your Federal Disaster Response Agency, your Salt Lake Crew. There's a lot of different factions out there, and they're fighting amongst themselves. And so Abby's group they're a pretty powerful group. I mean, they're led by a guy named Isaiah. I think that's his name. Anyways, an older gentleman. And, he wants the fighting to stop because it's just gotten out of control. So anyways, and I'll get back to that as well. But anyways, so their goal is to get to Seattle and to find Abby. And along the way, you guys, they go through this wonderful journey. The gameplay is great. There are certain things you have to do, like to get the generator started. You know how you have to go get the gas, you got to get this, but it's a lot of fun. It's not tedious at all. The little side stuff that they do just to get there, it's not tedious. And just to let you know, the game starts with a countdown. Day 1 in Seattle, once they get to Seattle, day 2 in Seattle, and then our final day is day 3 in Seattle. So we have 3 days in Seattle once we get there, and the game counts down like that. So anyways, Dina and Ellie, sorry guys, Dina and Ellie, though, they become very close. They have a beautiful love scene that they have, and you just really like this relationship because playing Ellie and getting to know Ellie over these 2 games, you want Ellie happy. You know what I mean? You know who she is and you want her happy. And you fall in love with Dina too, like I said, on this journey as well. And you fall in love with their love. Okay, because it's really beautiful. All right. And I love the interactions between them, the cut scenes where you really get to see how much they love each other, like really love each other. So you get to see that throughout their journey, and it's awesome playing with another character, but it's not like a, you know, you have to make sure that it's not an escort mission, you know what I mean, where you have to make sure that Dina's okay. I like the fact that Dina helps out just as much, helps out Ellie just as much as Ellie helps out Dina. You don't feel like Dina's a weight. Okay. She pulls her weight. Okay. So she's not an anchor, basically. She pulls her weight. And I like that because in some games, when you have another character that's playing along with you, you know, you're shooting more shots off. It becomes an escort mission and it's just not as fun. But Naughty Dog, they did a great job at pairing the two of you together and being able to help each other, you know, like how Joel and Ellie did, you know. If you need a boost to get up to a second floor because you need to, you know, put a ladder down so that Ellie can get up or vice versa, that happens. So you have a lot of fun. And I also like the fact that the game is super, it's 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 scary in a sense because when you go into certain buildings, you know what to look for and what to expect. You know, you don't know if there's a bloater around the corner. You don't know if it's an infected around the corner. And it's just it's intense. Okay. It really is intense. It's kind of scary in a way. And I remember as I'm playing the game being real cautious, you know, I did a lot of sneaking, you know. I didn't want the infected to hear me. And if they did, you kind of like panic and oh my gosh, here we go. You know what I mean? Here we go. So to have someone with you though, it's a little bit more calming because I know that Dean is with me and she has my back, you know, like for real, you know, and you know, we're going to protect each other. So you have that person with you that has a gun as well, okay, and can fight with you as well. So that's great, okay. Anyway, so they find messages and notes along the way, and they realize that, you know, they have to make their way to the hospital in Seattle, okay? Because they find notes about Nora, and Nora is a good friend to Abby. And if I remember right, Nora was there. Nora was there when Joel was killed. I believe she was there when Joel was killed. Okay. So, anyways, so now Ellie's thing is, you know, once we get to Seattle, you know, we have a lead. Go to the hospital. Okay. Once they get there, though, they find this theater. They stay at this theater. They look around. It's safe, so that's going to be their safe room, their base. Once they get there, though, I remember you're going to find out that Dina's pregnant, and Dina's pregnant with Jesse's baby. And Jesse doesn't know that. And Dina tells Abby that. And so, and that was a shock because it's like, oh my gosh, like for real, she's pregnant. Now we have a problem. So, in order for um, you know, Ellie to move on, she knows that Dina's going to have to stay behind, you know, because she's pregnant, you know, and Ellie is very protective over Dina and wants to make sure that she's okay. So she decides, you know, let me go and head out on this journey myself. I'll come back. Okay. But, anyways, so, you know, Dina stays behind. She's really tired. Ellie heads out into the world, trying to make it to the hospital. She ends up in a situation where she's kind of being overrun by another faction that spots her, and Jesse ends up showing up, which was a great surprise at the time because this is a sticky situation, and I'm like, how the hell are we going to get out of this? Thank God when you see Jesse show up to help her out, and so Jesse was sent, you know, to go and find the two of them. And so anyway, so Jesse finds Ellie. They end up making their way back to the theater because Jesse's a little hurt. Dina's absolutely surprised to see Jesse there. You know, she gives him a hug. Um, and you see that Ellie is really jealous of this situation because remember, guys, Ellie doesn't know, you know, if she's a rebound for Dina, although they've had this intimate time together, you know, and spent some time together, but it's still seeing them together. It's, you know, kind of salty in a way, you know, because Dina's not a cruel-hearted person. Like, you know, she was with Jesse. They're not together anymore. It shouldn't be a problem that I still have love for him. I'm just not in love with him. So she greets Jesse, Dina, with a hug, and Ellie's kind of, salty about it, and you can tell in her face. Anyways, bring Jesse in, spend some time in the theater, and she, sews Ellie up, and now Ellie and Jesse are going to head out together, leave Dina back at the theater because Jesse is out to find Tommy. Maria sent him out to go find them and find Tommy. So they go out together, but the problem, they get to a certain point where Ellie wants to go. She's after Abby. I mean, like, she tells, Jesse, listen, Tommy will be okay. He can take care of himself. Let's go get Abby. Just please, let's go get Abby. And Jesse's not having it. He's like, no, I have to go and find Tommy. So they end up splitting up, and they'll meet up with each other later on. So Jesse goes his way to go find Tommy, and Ellie is heading to that hospital to go find Nora because Nora knows where Abby is. So anyways, we get there. It's a long trek to the hospital. It's a lot of fun. You have some boss battles with bloaters. You have just so much fun. Okay. The battles are so much fun. Died a few times, didn't mind it, came back, got smarter, and made my way through wherever I was, made my way out of that place. And let me tell you, after you make your way out of a battle, I mean, it's just so comforting because you did it. And these new bloaters that they have, I mean, you have two of them coming at you at a time, and you have to really put some work and effort into making sure you have everything stacked up before you leave. Your what is it? Gosh, your Molotov. Oh gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. Anyways, the bottle with the that you put the the fucking A, that you put the oil in and the rag in to make a bomb. Okay. And I'm so sorry, guys, I'm losing my train of thought. Anyways, you just make sure that you have everything that you need before you go out and scavenge, because you will find, obviously, infected people in the world. Some are stronger than others. There are times where you have two bloaters that you're fighting at one time, and you just have to be really strategic and make sure that you use your rounds and everything that you have wisely. Okay. And which I didn't do because I tend to get a little nervous, and I playing the game, I would tense up and I would just start shooting. I would just see them and I would start shooting, and I would use up a lot of my resources by doing that. So I would die and have to really think about, you know, um, how to make sure that I use the best weapon for that enemy, and make sure I'm, you know, uh, healing myself, and so it's a lot, but it's a lot of fun doing it. Okay. Um, just a second. I just, so funny. Molotov cocktail. Okay, your cocktail. That's what I was taught. That's what I was trying to say, and I just cannot find the words. Anyways, so you want to make sure you have enough of those. So you get to the hospital. We get to the hospital, guys, and we find freaking Nora, and it is a struggle and a fight to pin her down because she's, obviously her people are there. So the chase is on. You have this chase scene with Ellie chasing Nora throughout the hospital. Nora's people starting to follow Ellie, chase after her. They get to a certain area where there's spores and in a room, and Ellie, we know, is immune to this, but you have to wear your gas mask. So they end up going in there. Ellie shuts the door and make sure that the security, Nora's people, can't get in. And so they have this standoff between each other because Ellie's like, just tell me where Abby is. Just tell me where Abby is. And at this point, Nora is choking, and because she's dead, that she's breathing in spores. And she looks at Ellie and she's like, "You're that girl, you're her." And realizes Ellie's the cure. That she puts it together. Oh, that's you. And so she lets Ellie know, Abby's my good friend. I will never sell her out. You'd have to kill me. And Ellie's like, well, the difference is, I can make this go quick, or we can, let this beating last. And so she's not going to get anything out of Nora. It's not happening. And she ends up brutally beating Nora to death. The next scene, you see Ellie's back at the theater, and she's freaked out by this. She's traumatized by this beating, and she shows up, and she's just bloody, and she's just an absolute mess. Absolute mess. Anyways, guys, uh, at the theater, though, I'm gonna move along. At some point at the theater, we reach Seattle day 3, and you then have you have Jesse, and you have Jesse, Ellie, and Dina at the theater, and the three of them are talking. Jesse ends up asking Ellie at some point, I can't, Dina can't keep food down. She's not keeping water down. Is she pregnant? And, Ellie tells Jesse, yeah, she is. And Jesse tells her, she can't go any further. We got to get her back. And she's like, Ellie's like, I know, I know. So they make a decision that that's what has to happen. They got to get Dina back to Jackson because she's pregnant. And anyway, so as they're getting ready to do that, um, Ellie ends up falling asleep. And I want to talk about really quick, when Ellie has moments where she's playing the guitar or whatever, there's a lot of dream sequences in this game. And I want to mention that. So what's awesome about it is you get to like go back and like you're playing the first game, because she has certain dreams and memories of Joel. And there was one cool memory where and you get to play them, which is a lot of fun. So there's one memory when she was 14 years old, and Joel surprises her, takes her to the museum for her birthday, and she sees the dinosaurs. And Ellie loves space; she absolutely adores space. So he takes her to another area at the museum where it's the space area, okay, where he has a helmet for her, and there's like this little mock. Um, Craft that she's able to get into. And she gets in there, she puts the helmet on, and I love how the game just kind of plays along, and you hear the countdown, and Joel is just looking at her, and she's just peaceful. She has her earphones in, and I love that scene. I love the scenes where they go back in time and Ellie dreams about and thinks about Joel, and even Tommy at different points of when he took her out and taught her how to shoot a rifle, and they did that. That was a lot of fun. When Joel taught her how to swim, he pushes her into the freaking the creek, and he teaches her how to swim and lets her know you have to do this. So it's like we're getting a tutorial in the game when you go back to the memory sequences, okay? Because you know how to shoot the rifle and the swimming and all that, because obviously you're going to be doing those things in the game. But I like the way how they incorporated that to where it's not tedious, it's fun, and it's going back, and you're able to be with Joel again, because you really do miss him in the game. And when you have those memories, it's like you yourself, the player, have the memories of Joel and things that you didn't know that he and Ellie did. So it's different chunks of their life and things that they did that she remembers. And I do want to say this though, guys, when Joel died, Ellie and Joel were at it. They were not getting along because Ellie ends up finding a recording at the hospital. Um, and she had left Jackson, escaped, went to the hospital, and found this recording. The recording was nurses and doctors talking about how Ellie she is the cure. And remember, Joel told her that was not it. She wasn't. So when she hears this, Joel finds her. He comes riding up on his horse, and this is a memory sequence, okay? And he comes up on a horse, and he's like, Ellie, why would you do that? Don't ever leave like that. He gives her a hug. Ellie is pissed. And she tells Joel, if you don't tell me the truth about what really happened in Seattle, I will never talk to you again if you lie to me. So I'm going to ask you, basically, am I the cure? And he tells her, yes. And she just starts crying. I mean, she's so hurt because she was excited about going into Seattle in the first one. Remember, she was excited about the possibility of curing everyone, of helping everyone. Like, she's the cure. She didn't care if she died. She didn't know, but she didn't care. Like, she really wanted to make things better. She wanted there to be a cure. And when she found out that there was a possibility and she was there, it almost happened, and he came and took her, she was so angry because how deceitful, you've been lying to me for years. And I find out that all of this could have been taken care of years ago. This would have been over with. And then she's thinking about all the lives that could have been saved. And then all the people that died, children, families, like all these people that lost their lives because Joel was selfish in wanting his daughter to live, Ellie. Okay. So you find that out in the dream sequence, the memory sequences that she has. Anyway, so those are fun, and I wanted to mention that. But you find out the rift between Joel and Ellie, and so Ellie has that on her heart because they never were able to clear that up, basically. Um, and so, but you'll see throughout the game that they'll, when they go back in time, that discussion will be brought up throughout the years, and Ellie really telling Joel how she feels about what he did. Okay. And they're trying to squash it. Okay. But anyway, so we're at the theater. They have decided that Dina has to go back. Jesse's going to take her back. We cannot do this because Dina's pregnant. As they go downstairs, Abby has Tom, and Tommy is, they find Tommy, by the way. Tommy's there as well. Abby has Tommy, with a gun, has a gun out on Tommy, and Ellie comes in. And here's what's cold blooded about this, okay? Because Abby, like I said, no chill, she's horrible. Anyways, so when they enter the room, Ellie and Jesse, to go find Dina, and not realizing that Tommy's there, enters that room, and I think they knew Tommy's there. Anyways. They enter the room as soon as Jesse walks in, gets shot in the head. And oh my God, I gasped. Like I couldn't believe it because you care for these people. These are your people. You care for your people. And Jesse's gone. And Jesse, too, was just a great character. I loved him. He was great as a character in this story. So, and to see him be killed was just shocking because you're not expecting that in the game. You're just not. And you see Abby there, and she looks rough, and she, tells them, you killed my friends. Because along the way, guys, one thing about Abby is Abby has her own relationship going on as well. She was with a guy named Owen. Owen is a really nice guy. He's just on the wrong team. You just hate him because he's on the wrong team, and he's also responsible for Joel getting killed. So you don't like any of these people, okay? But along the way, Ellie, was able to, they eliminated Owen. They eliminated the woman that Owen was with, because Abby and Owen are exes, but they still have this entanglement that they're in. They still love each other. But he's moved on, and he's with, I think her name's Molly or something like that. She's pregnant. And anyway, and she's like some nurse or whatnot. And she's, like Owen's really not into her. It's just that Abby turned him down. So at this point, day 3 in Seattle, the confrontation between Ellie and Abby. Anyways, you see that Abby shoots Tommy. She killed Jesse, and she was going to kill Dina, but Abby is with someone that she met along the way. This person's name is Lev, and Lev has a sister named, I think it was, I forget her sister's name. Anyways, Lev has a sister. He has a sister, and so you'll meet them when you play Abby. And the characters that you meet there, they're awesome characters. Anyways, Yara and Leave, Abby meets them along the way on her journey. So at this point, Abby tells Ellie, you killed my friends, and she was getting ready to kill Dina, and then Lev says, Abby, no, don't. And so she beats the hell out of Ellie, though. She does beat the hell out of Ellie, and she tells Ellie, I'm gonna let you go, but if I ever see you again, you're dead. and Abby and Leave walks out. Lev or Leave, whatever, walks out. And Ellie's left there just crying. And then game switches over, and now you play Abby. And so playing Abby is like I was conflicted because I didn't you don't like her, you hate her, and then you have to play her as a character. You got to play her now. So you get to play that other side, which as a gamer, I find it was fun. Okay. I get it, but you hate her, right? So, anyways, you take over and you play her. And when you play her as a little girl when you take over her character. She's a little girl, and she's with her father, and her father is Jerry, the surgeon that Joel killed. Okay. And so you get to see their relationship with her as a little girl, and Abby absolutely adores her father, just loves him. Okay. And then there's a scene where you see and Abby goes back into memory sequences as well, okay, and thinks about her father. So you really get to know her father. You get to know her relationship with Owen as well, okay, and how much she really cared for Owen. But Abby is for the cause. You know what I mean? She's for the cause, and and that's just it. All right. Owen was tired of it. He's tired of the killing. He wanted to go to Santa Barbara. That's where he was going. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore. So Abby was is supposed to go out and find Owen. And so that's what she goes, and that's what her first mission is to go find Owen, okay? Because remember, she's already gotten rid of Joel. So she's out to find Owen because Owen is in some trouble with their faction, okay? So she ends up finding Owen. She knew he would be at the marina. Okay, so he's there at the aquarium. He's there. She finds him. They have this beautiful love scene, and and that's going back. So you get to play and see what happened to Owen when Ellie, reaches up to him. But anyway, so your journey with Abby is just you end up you end up really liking Abby. You end up understanding her side of things. If someone killed my dad, how would you feel? So you get that. You get the relationship with her father because you get to experience that when you play Abby as a little girl with her dad. And her dad was just a really nice guy. And that's what's crazy about this, guys, is that these all are good people. It's just this virus has come infected people to where it's the Walking Dead, basically. You know what I mean? You're in that world. So people change. People change. Survival is something else. And so you know you get that. But like I said, it's become very violent. Anyways, while playing Abby, you end up falling in love with Abby. You really like her. You want to make sure she's okay. I found myself hoping that everything works out for her, and then you remember, oh yeah, I'm playing the girl that killed Joel. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of fun playing Abby because Abby is absolutely brutal. Like I said, no chill, no heart, no care, especially after what happened to her dad. Along her journey, though, she does run into Yara and Leaf, who are two other characters. They're with they're with the Seraphites, okay, and it's a cult, okay, an opposing cult, the Seraphites, and they worship this woman that you'll see her picture throughout the whole game. She's like this religious, overly religious woman who has this skewed idea of reality, and just they're nuts. They're absolutely nuts. And Yara and Leave are from that group, and they had escaped because their mother had lost her mind and was brutally beating them and attacking them. So Yara is Leave's older sister, and so Yara, is responsible for Leave. So, but they're very, very smart, very good with bow and arrow. But they're when Abby and Yara and Leave, when they meet each other, it's a point where Yara's arm had been smashed, basically broken. She was in really bad condition, and they actually saved Abby because Abby got caught in a trap, and these people, another faction, had found her. was going to kill her, had her hanging. And then Yara and Leave enter the picture, and they save Abby, and Abby ends up helping them out. She left them in a little um, like a trailer, because Abby has no heart, God needed, and ends up leaving, comes back because she couldn't do that to them. They saved her life. So she's trying to get them back to the aquarium where Owen is, because Owen and his wife's a nurse, a doctor, nurse. So she knows that they can help with Yara and Leave. So she brings them back to the marina, the aquarium, and they do surgery on Yara. But Leave ends up leaving because he's out to go back to his island to go after his mom. And Yara finds out, they patch up her arm. She finds out. Abby's like, I'll go after him, So you have now this new quest of going out and finding Leave. And Yara ends up going with you. And you go to the island, and the island is it's a lot of fun once you get there, because this is all their people, the Seraphites, okay? And the Seraphites are being attacked by a group called, I think they're called the Wolves. And so there's this big fighting going on, and they're there to get Leave and bring him back. So the island segment is a lot of fun, guys. A lot of great gunplay, a lot of hide and seek, sneaking around. I had a blast playing this part of the game when you reach the island to go save Leave. And so you get there, and you end up saving him. Unfortunately, we lose Yara on our way back, but Leave and Abby, they stay close together. They're together. They go back to the marina, the aquarium. Owen and his wife are gone. They're not there anymore. There's blood. That's right. There's blood. She comes back, and something has happened to them, and so they're gone. We know that they're gone. Abby's absolutely pissed. She heads out to Santa Barbara to go and try to find them. Anyways, so our trip now is to Santa Barbara, and this is where things get really sticky in Santa Barbara, because I do want to say, let me go back and mention something, because there did come a point to where when Abby and Ellie meet up, and she when Abby kills Jesse, they meet up, and remember, they have their confrontation, and Abby tells Ellie, I don't ever want to see you again. If I do, you're dead. After that, it's some time has passed, years have passed. Tommy actually ended up living through that headshot that was given to him by Abby when she shot him. I think it hit his eye. He lived through that. So Dina and Ellie now are on this beautiful farmhouse. And Dina has given birth to her baby boy. And so Abby, you get to see Ellie and Dina have this beautiful life. They're enjoying themselves, right? And so that's years later, okay? Tommy ends up showing up at the farm, and when he shows up at the farm, he's telling Ellie, "We got to go out. We got to go get Abby. We got to go find her." And Dina hates, like, she loves Tommy but can't stand him because she doesn't want the happy life that Dina and Ellie have now with the baby. She doesn't want that to be interrupted. They have a beautiful life. They made it through. They lived. Dina's like, leave it alone, Tommy. Leave it alone. And as much as Ellie wants to stay because she does enjoy their baby, she enjoys their life, and guys, they're so in love, she still can't give it up. Abby got away, and to her, she wouldn't be, in her heart, that's letting Joel down. Like, how could I let Joel down? How could I do this to Joel? So Dina, they sleep on it. Ellie gets up the next morning. Dina wakes up, and unfortunately, she sees Ellie in this box getting all her tools, her jacket, her backpack. And Dina's like, I can't promise you we'll be here when you get back. And so they're just, it's sad because Dina understands, but she's so hurt that Ellie is going back out there to go find this woman. It's kind of like, leave it alone already. Why must you do this? And you know how Ellie is, guys. We played her for some time. That's not Ellie. That's not happening. So she takes off for Santa Barbara because when Tommy comes to talk to her, he lets her know, I tracked Abby to Santa Barbara. Let's go get her. So Abby or Ellie is on a journey now. She has to do it. She has to just go and be done with this. She goes, um, she's heading out to Santa Barbara. Now we switch back and we're playing Abby again with Leave, and they're in Santa Barbara. They made it there. And so while they're there, there's another faction that's there, and they end up kidnapping Abby and Leave. Gone. You don't see them anymore for some time. Then we're playing Ellie again. Ellie finally makes it to Santa Barbara. Um, ends up tracking Abby. She ends up coming across these two guys, the two people that you will remember that took Abby and Leave. Anyways, they get Ellie. Ellie ends up stepping into a trap, actually. So she's hanging up from a tree. The two men show up. They're hanging next to another infected, one of those fungus people. Okay, so that thing's hanging there too, and it's right by Ellie. And so one of the guys is being a smartass, comes over. Ellie, being Ellie, grabs him up, feeds him to the fungus guy, and ends up getting the gun, shooting the bigger dude, but asking him, "Do you know who these people are? Do you know where Abby is?" And he said, "If she was here, I promise you, we have her. She's locked up, and she's been locked up for some time." Guys, we end up getting there. We get to the camp that's holding Abby and Liv. We get there. We have this it's an awesome gun battle. I mean, it's so much fun. I had a great time playing this part as well. We end up clearing out that camp. Once that camp's cleared off, you head to a beach, and there's these people tied to poles, just strapped to poles on the beach, just a lot of them, right? You're looking for Abby. All of a sudden, I remember I couldn't see her. And I look because I'm looking for long hair, long braid, right? No. You see this person move and you walk up to her. You look up and it's Abby. Now, when you play Abby, Abby is a very well built, athletic looking woman. She has big arms. I mean, you can tell that she keeps herself together, works out. She's one of the lead people at her camp. So she's pretty buff. Okay. This was a buff woman. When you see her again, though, guys, let me tell you, I was shocked. I mean, I had to put the game on, like, I had to pause the game, like, and look, because I'm like, oh my gosh, her hair is all gone. She looks emaciated. Just her body. I mean, it's bad. It's bad, and she's been held there for a long time, you guys. Ellie cuts her down. Abby, gets up, and she's really weak. Okay, she gets up. You see, Liv is there. He's gotten a little older, and he looks emaciated as well. Abby, there's two boats on the ocean right there. Okay, there's two boats that are there at the beach. Anyways, Abby picks up Liv, carries him to the boat, puts him on the boat, and Abby's thinking, like, like, Ellie's gonna let her go. Like, you see the condition I'm in. Like, come on, let's not do this. And Ellie, you can tell Ellie's not. She's just looking at her, just staring at her. Put Leave on the boat, staring at her get in the boat. As Abby is heading towards the boat to get in, Ellie looks at her and says, and Ellie, by the way, is getting ready to leave as well. Ellie's walking to the boat because once she finds him, she feels sorry for him. Like, oh my gosh, like, what happened to you, right? So Ellie's feeling a little sorry for her, right? So Ellie goes to the boat, and she's standing there. And Ellie's been through a lot as well. Okay, this was a huge fight, a battle that we had to get through. So she ain't too, she's kind of limping a little bit as well. Anyways, she tells Abby, I can't let you go. And Abby looks back and the fight is on. And what a fierce battle this was. I mean, these two characters are at each other. I mean, Abby's not as strong as she used to be, but she's, tougher than Ellie, I would say. But they go back and forth. Ellie ends up getting the upper hand and ends up uh, damn near drowning Abby. She's killing her. And all of a sudden she lets go. You think Abby's dead. Abby comes up out of the water. And this fight, Ellie stabbed her a few times. So Abby is hurt. She's really hurt. Anyways, she lets Abby go. Abby gets up, she's bleeding. She puts herself on the boat. Ellie's just standing there, just looking at her, and Ellie's hurt as well. And you see Abby just drive away in a boat, and Ellie's just looking at her, just drive away. You guys, that scene was so freaking intense. But I'm gonna tell you guys, when you play when you play the game, if you haven't played yet, please still play the game. Okay, I'm telling you, when you get to that scene, when you see Abby, it's I lost my breath. Like it's shocking to see her condition, okay, from the beginning of the game to that part, because you don't see her anymore. And when you do, it's just it's heartbreaking, right? Because at this point of the game, you feel for Abby. You really do, because you get where she's coming from. Like I said before. Anyways, you think the game's over. Game's not over. You have Ellie now. She's back. She's going back for Dina. She goes back to the farm. No one's there. She goes up to in the house. She's calling for Dina. Dina's not there. Everything's been just, she moved out. Dina left. No, nothing was left behind. So Dina did leave. Remember, Dina told Ellie, I may not be here when you come back. And she wasn't. So Abby or Ellie goes in the room, picks up the guitar, and starts, playing, and game's done. Game goes off. I had a blast, you guys. I had so much fun playing this game. Good job, Naughty Dog. Good job. I'm looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2, Season 2, on HBO. I'm hoping it comes back. I believe it's coming back. I'm happy I played the game so that when it does come back, I know what's going on. But just period, even if there wasn't a series, this was an awesome game, and it definitely deserves a replay. Okay. If you haven't played it, please get it, you guys. They also just did a remastered, they just remastered it for the PlayStation, and it looks amazing. The game is just a lot of fun. The storytelling is great. Everything. I really don't have anything that I can think that I didn't like about the game. I enjoyed every bit of it. What an amazing story, and what a great world to be in, So I definitely, this is a 5 out of 5. I'm so happy. When you finish the game, you can load it back up and you can play it again. And when you play it again, it says Game Plus. And so when you play it again, it really, you can play with everything that you have so far. So I know, Dawn, I know, a really good game. Absolutely. Absolutely. So like I said, I had a blast, and I hope you guys will go back. If you haven't played, play it. Sorry for the spoiler, review, but I couldn't help. I had to tell you my true feelings about this game, and from beginning to the end. And there's things that I left out, of course, but that's the gist of the game. I mean, that's pretty much it. Anyways, but I hope you guys enjoyed this spotlight of The Last of Us Part 2. And I look forward to coming back. Next week, I will be with John. We have an intermission that we're going to do. It's John's segment from Movie Lovers Unite. It's on our. It's going to be uploaded to our Patreon in about 2 weeks. We're gonna talk about Tupac. John and I, big fans. Who isn't a fan of Tupac, and that's going to be our intermission episode. And you guys can get that on Patreon. Please go and subscribe to our Patreon. It's a $5 tier. We'll give you a shout out, and all that's in the link, the description of the video. If you listen to us, guys, we really appreciate it, guys. We are Movie Lovers Unite is #1 this week in TV and film reviews. Thank you on Good Pods, which is the #1 award-winning posting podcast platform. My bad. Anyway, so check us out on Good Pods or anywhere you listen to our show. We're on all major platforms. Okay. So give us a 5-star review. Tell us how we're doing. Also, tell me what you guys think about The Last of Us Part 2. If you guys played, let me know. Hit me up at rossietalks@gmail.com, or hey, let John know at movieloversunite@gmail.com. Okay. It's been a pleasure. I enjoyed you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you guys for sticking with us and making Movie Lovers Unite #1 this week. All right. So let's see. Thank you, Jojo. I really appreciate that. We're trying. We're trying. John and I are trying. Okay. We love movies. I love games, movies, all of that. So I hope that you guys, and thank you, because you are enjoying our content, and thank you so much for making us #1. Again, you guys have a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend. Be good to each other, everyone. Just a second. Let me get my life together here. Be good to each other, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.